Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome into Old Mountain Bricks. Today we're back with a big Lego City update today. There's something that's been on my mind for quite some time. Hey, nice rhyme. And it is the nature area over here. It's time to start working on that. That's going to be the big thing here today. So what we need to do is we're going to need to start clearing some of this out of here because we need to start mills plating this whole area. And we want to transform it to make it something similar to like what we did for the beach. Look at all the detail here with the waves and the water, the sand, all kinds of minifigures and stories and palm trees and all kinds of fun things going on here. And we want to do something similar with our nature area. It is limited space because of the train track. We have a nice little kind of S-curve going on through here. That'll make it all the more challenging and rewarding once we get it figured out. Of course, I have a few other things we need to do today. We need to clean up the Lego room just a little bit. We just did our unboxing here. We just built the Marvel logo. We need to see if we can find a place for. We also have the minifigure vending machine just kind of hanging out over here. I know we have limited display space over here, but let's see if we can work those two in somewhere over here, at least for now. You know, I wasn't too impressed when I built the family tree here. It's kind of a strange Lego idea set, and it didn't do very well. I like the idea of a family tree, but I don't think it's meant to be on display for long here for us. I mean, it's either the family tree or the Eternals get the axe, and as much as I would like to axe the Eternals, they're still on our to-do list to do a quick review of and do something with. So, it looks like the family tree is going to get the boot. And by get the boot, I mean just kind of maybe scoot it behind it and kind of put the minifigure vending machine in front of it. You can't even tell, right? And it keeps that from getting stuck somewhere under the Lego City table or something for now. So, I think we've got one done. You know, we're kind of in the process of making some big upgrades to the Lego room here, which includes this little new nightstand that had a little bit of extra room and storage for other things. So, I know it's not actually in its place yet, but it fits real nice right under there. So I think that's going to be the temporary spot for now as well. So back to the Lego City here. We recently cleaned it up, rearranged some of the vehicles, and got things up and running for 2026. And again, now it's time to kind of take on a big project. So this is kind of an interesting thing when you think about, how to do Lego cities and everything, because it's not too bad to just kind of put some modular buildings down, make a few roads, but it's the other things that take a little bit more thought, a little bit more creativity in order to kind of really bring a Lego city to life. And that's what I want to start flexing my muscles a little bit more to see if we can improve it in this section. So that means the first thing we need to do with this section is I think we need to just kind of clear it out, kind of see how much space we're working with, and that'll help guide us. The thing is, I don't want to put it all on my workspace over here because it might take a bit, and I want to keep building other sets. So I think we're just going to have to put a lot of this on the floor, which is not ideal, but I think that's what's going to need to happen. So let's set up a quick time lapse here. I'm going to take some of the items out and see kind of what it looks like. Alright, so here this section is all cleared out. This is basically the view from the top of the old fishing store here, in order to hopefully document this as the before picture. So you can see we've got a hodgepodge of different plates, some that didn't even have plates, some half ones in here. All the bricks you see left are what we call structural bricks because they kind of hold all the base plates together to avoid sliding and misalignment and such there. So that's what all of those are doing here. You can see with the train track what I was talking about, it goes all the way around this way and then back around. So because of that, we lose a good bit of space in this area because this is basically a dead space here as well as kind of in between. Same with over here where we used to have the adventurers just kind of hanging out there as well. So we also ended up with some dead space kind of behind the Parisian restaurant there where we have the Grand Emporium. So we have a number of options of what to do with this area. So I've thought about it on and off, kind of what I want to do with this area. It feels like we have a ton of space, but at the same time, this is all the leftover space in the table. So if I wanted to, I could like expand the city and then just have that road come down this way and then have buildings on either side just to add some more downtown kind of modular buildings to it. But I kind of want to do something different and add some more detail like we did with like the beach area like we were talking about. So ideally, I want to definitely have the A-frame cabin involved. Hopefully, maybe that Sanderson Sisters cottage. But other than that, I'd like to have a little bit of elevation because it's in the back here. You can see like the beach is raised up 2 bricks. So we would maybe do something similar here. Maybe start a little lower over in this section and then raise it up maybe even 3 or 4 bricks in the back here. The only thing is we have to make sure the train is able to get by would be the only other thing. I'd also like to have a bit of water running through here. I don't know where the water is going, where it's coming from at the moment. That also complicates things a bit as I'd want to work that into like the mill's plate in order to have it as realistic as possible. So we could do something where water's maybe coming off from the edge and then just kind of snakes its way through in order to have some nice realistic kind of campground details. But by doing that, you lose a lot of valuable space for modular buildings like I was talking about there. So it's going to be difficult for sure. The other point of contention is how do I transition from the road plate to this nature area? Do I have it transition into some sort of dirt road that still takes up a good bit of space in the middle here? Because at that point, it's just kind of country roads or something. So I have to figure out the best way to do that as well. Because with the beach, it was pretty clear what I was doing. You know, we started at the water, sand, more sand, buildings. And everything else was just kind of filled in after the fact. With this, that's going to take a bit more planning, especially if I do want to keep any of those like camper vans and other things in here. So I'm definitely going to have to maybe map this out, kind of take the base plates, make a map of kind of what I want it to look like, and then go from there. Maybe even attach some of the base plates so it is to make it kind of like a modular type build so you can kind of remove different sections and such in order to make it easier to kind of put together. I'm just kind of thinking out loud here as it's just the easiest way to do it. Because when you have a Lego city, you have limited time to work on it. I don't have a lot of time to just sit down and plan things. It's me coming in here, being hands-on with the Lego city in order to kind of figure out what I want to do next with it. And that's kind of the hard part, is just kind of making the vision I have in my mind come into Lego reality, and within financial constraints, of course, too. I can't do anything too crazy here, but I still want it to look good for what it is and put as much detail and as many sets as I can. So there's a nice line in there without it looking junky, kind of like it was looking before, and what I want it to look like for the future, to really have a presentable Lego city. You can see from this angle just how much space that is. So as we talked about in our last Lego city update, we are considering expanding the Lego city. And I think the best way to do that would basically be to put a table here, and that would be the only thing. So basically it would have this long section, and if you can imagine that this is one section here, we would take that, turn it like this, and then have it like that. So that would open up a whole lane of possibilities here in order to add some more modular buildings and other things like that. That's what makes me think I can detail this area in order to have it look how I want. But you can see there were a ton of sets over there. This is everything we took off. So a ton of campers, buildings, minifigures, structures, trees, planes, dinosaurs, popcorn carts, and all kinds of stuff. That also reminds me, we had a few figures we wanted to add into our Lego city. Most of these are from that vending machine here. So we've got like the Paradisa folks that will look great on a Lego City beach. So We'll put her right there. And we'll put Paradisa Guy just right over there. No, this isn't a glorious outcome for these folks here, but you can see we've got a number of different spacemen we've kind of been putting together. So we're just going to add these two in here for a later project. For these other two minifigures, the Fabuland guy and the Lego Ideas person, I thought we would come right around the back here because we have a Fabuland character right down here. So you can see kind of what he looks like. This is authentic Lego right here. This is Boris. I believe he's like a police or something. So we're going to put him here. We kind of have a unique gathering right here. We've got Animal Crossing down in there. You can see we've got Jack Stone. And now we're going to move these Ice Planet folks out of the way. And we're going to just put the Fabuland person right next to Boris so they can be together and have a nice meta moment. We'll then just put the Lego Ideas person right down over here for now and just kind of put that out of the way. And we'll just add these folks maybe across the way just like that, just to add a little bit more space over here. Oh yeah. There we go, and they're all looking good, and we've added a nice little display right here. I also haven't forgotten about the big travesty that struck our Lego city the last time we had an update where we accidentally destroyed our little Avengers complex over here. Guess Dr. Doom got in there early or something, but we're going to have to figure out what to do with this area, but that's probably going to be for another day. Alright, and here's just a sneak peek of some things to come I'm excited about, as we're going to be building a ton of new sets here this year. But we've got things cleaned up under the table. You can see we've got a ton of things down here, and that's the other thing we have to think about. Like we have like the treehouse right there. You can see the green box sticking out. That's something that would maybe want to go in a nature area, but it's a pretty big set. So if we're going to go ahead and do the nature area, we're going to need to probably go ahead and build that. So that's the other thing we have to think about if there's any other sets in here that we want to try and include. But I think if the treehouse is going to get its shot, this is the time to do it. So that's probably going to be coming soon as well. I'm definitely going to have to think about it, so if you have any suggestions or ideas, I'd love to hear about it. So leave a comment down below if you have any ideas of what we should do in this area. But I think that will do it for today. We made some decent progress. It all starts with taking things out, destroying, rebuilding, repeat kind of things. So we're going to think about it a little bit. Again, leave a comment if you have any ideas, but I'm excited to start working on that area and get it done sometime this year, as well as build a ton of new sets to kind of put in our Lego city. So I appreciate you coming on by today. Leave a like on the way out. Subscribe to Old Mountain Bricks so you don't miss the next Lego City update. And until next time, thanks for coming by Old Mountain Bricks today. Have a good one.